The distress signal. Across the dark void of space, a faint pulse blinked on the sensors of the outer galactic observatories. It was weak, irregular, almost drowned in the noise of the stars, but unmistakable. A distress signal, coming from a system that had long been abandoned by explorers, flickered desperately through the galaxy. On the council worlds of the major alien species, alarms blared. Crystal towers trembled, insectoid antennae twitched, and holographic projections of the distant system filled chambers with eerie light. The message was chaotic, panicked, almost pleading. "They are asking for help," hissed one officer of the Krylax fleet, his serpentine eyes wide. "But the readings, they do not make sense. It could be a trap." High Chancellor Rin of the Vorath Council slammed his crystalline staff against the table. "Trap or not, someone is signaling for aid. And if it is genuine, then their lives are in our hands. Can we risk ignoring it?" Debates raged. Some argued the SOS was a lure, designed to draw in curious fleets only to destroy them. Others suggested it was a genuine plea. But beneath the discussions, a darker truth lingered. No one truly understood what waited in that system. Far from the councils, beyond censors and political debate, the Deathworlders prepared for action. Their flagship, the Iron Maw, drifted silently through the void, engines humming softly. Its hull was scarred, reinforced, and built to withstand anything the universe could throw at it. Inside, humans, Deathworlders as the galaxy feared to call them, moved with calm precision, ready for what no other species could survive. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge, staring at the flickering signal on the main screen. His face was unreadable, but a smirk tugged at the corner of his lips. "Finally," he muttered. Some excitement. The crew around him tensed slightly, but not with fear. They had trained for moments like this. Their species had evolved on worlds so extreme, so lethal, that nothing in the galaxy seemed truly dangerous. Acid storms, gravity collapses, endless radiation, these were playgrounds for the Deathworlders. Survival was instinct. Combat was instinct, and responding to a call for help? That was just another challenge. On the bridge, the SOS grew stronger, pulsing with urgency. The message was fragmented, barely coherent. "Attack. Help lost. Danger. They come." The words repeated in loops, broken, desperate, almost human in their raw fear. Lieutenant Kara Voss leaned over the console. "Captain, whoever sent this, they are terrified. Sensors show multiple energy signatures approaching the system. Unknown, fast, dangerous." Hale's smirk widened. "Then they'll be glad we're coming. No one survives these worlds like we do, and no one strikes without paying the cost." Across the galaxy, alien fleets scrambled. The insectoid Krylax dispatched patrols, while the crystalline Vorath mobilized warships. Every council feared one thing. If the Deathworlders reached the SOS first, nothing would stop them, and yet if they did not, the helpless species might vanish before anyone could intervene. Tension crackled in the void. For weeks, sensors had reported nothing unusual in this sector. The sudden SOS, weak but insistent, was a shock. Entire fleets debated tactics, preparing ambushes and scanning for traps. And yet, the humans, the Deathworlders, moved without hesitation. Hale turned to his first officer. "Set coordinates for the SOS origin." "Warp calculations complete?" "Ready, Captain," she replied. Her tone carried no fear, only precision. "We will arrive in 27 minutes. No fleet has ever matched this speed for such a long jump." The Iron Maw's engines flared, folding space as the flagship leapt toward the unknown system. Stars stretched into streaks, and the signal grew stronger, more urgent, more desperate. The humans did not just approach, they hunted, in their own way, for survival, for challenge, for the opportunity to demonstrate why their species had endured. Back on the alien council worlds, unease spread. "They are coming," whispered one officer. "No one can stop them. And whatever they find will not survive without consequences." And in the silence of space, the SOS pulsed again, frantic and broken. The unknown species on the faraway planet, or what was left of it, could not have imagined what was coming. They did not know that the Deathworlders did not merely fight, They thrived on extreme conditions, adapted instantly and struck with ruthless precision. Captain Hale's voice cut through the bridge. Calm but commanding, prepare for arrival. Whatever waits for us, we will face it, and we will survive. That is what Deathworlders do. The crew braced, sensors flared, and the SOS pulsed louder than ever, like a heartbeat calling through the darkness. For the galaxy, this was only the beginning. For the Deathworlders, it was the first thrill of a hunt that no species could outrun, and no civilization could anticipate. The signal had called, and the humans would answer. The Deathworlders' flagship Iron Maw tore through the darkness of space, leaving streaks of light across the void. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the approaching system. The SOS had grown stronger, its desperate pulse guiding them like a flare in the night. But the system, it was unlike anything the humans had encountered before. Stars blinked faintly, casting shadows across the ruined planets below. Entire worlds appeared ravaged, their surfaces scorched and torn. Cities lay in ruins, and massive energy scars streaked the planets like wounds across flesh. The Deathworlders moved cautiously, yet their caution was not born of fear. It was instinct, honed over centuries on worlds where death was the constant companion. Lieutenant Kara Voss pointed to the sensors. Captain, energy readings are unusual. They are fluctuating, almost alive. The system isn't empty, it's watching us. Hale's smirk tightened. Good, let it watch. Let it learn. Nothing in this galaxy surprises us anymore. The flagship descended into the system, weaving through debris fields and shattered satellites. The SOS pulsed again, weak but insistent. It seemed to come from the smallest planet of the cluster, a world scarred with massive craters, twisted metal, and strange, flickering energy signatures. Alien patrols had reported strange phenomena in this system before, but no one dared approach. Space itself seemed hostile here, as if the void conspired against intruders. Yet the Deathworlders moved through it with calm precision. Sensors adapted to radiation, gravity spikes, and electromagnetic storms. On the bridge, the crew exchanged glances. Captain, this planet, it's unlike any Deathworld we've encountered, whispered Ensign Darek, his voice tight with awe. The SOS, whoever sent it, they survived. Barely, Hale nodded slowly. That's exactly why we're here. They called for help, and we always answer. No one else can. As the flagship descended toward the planet, shadows moved in orbit. Unknown ships, small, fast, and erratic, darted between the wreckage. Their technology was alien, advanced, and clearly aggressive. Yet even as they detected the Iron Maw, they hesitated. The Deathworlders' presence alone carried a weight no species could underestimate. Captain, Voss said, pointing to the tactical display, these ships, they're defensive but also scared. They've never faced anything like us. Hale's grin widened. Let them be scared. That will make our job easier. Suddenly the SOS flared brighter, pulsing with energy that made the bridge hum. The signal was frantic now, almost pleading, sending fragmented images of the planet's surface. Broken cities, shadows of alien beings running, explosions tearing through the landscape. Whoever had sent this message was alive, but barely. The Deathworlders' sensors detected more, massive energy signatures hidden in the planet's atmosphere, faint but dangerous. Something or someone was observing the SOS, waiting for intruders to arrive. Hale's eyes narrowed. They've set up defenses. Clever. But we've survived worse. The flagship's engines flared as they descended further, dodging debris, energy pulses, and orbital traps. The Deathworlders moved with lethal precision, each maneuver calculated to survive where others would fail. Alien patrols fired sporadically, but their attacks were weak compared to the humans' reflexes and shielding. On the bridge, the atmosphere was tense but controlled. Every crew member knew the stakes. One misstep could be fatal, but they also knew this was their element: extreme danger, unknown conditions, and a desperate call for help. It was exactly what Deathworlders thrived on. As the Iron Maw broke through the upper atmosphere, the planet revealed its scars. Cities were flattened, energy barriers flickered, and massive craters dotted the surface. The SOS originated from the largest crater, a jagged wound in the planet's surface. Strange structures protruded from the ground, some broken, some still pulsing with energy. Hale's voice cut through the bridge. "Prepare the landing teams. Whatever sent the signal, it needs us, and we will find it," Voss nodded, issuing orders. Drop pods were prepped, weapon systems armed, and scanning drones deployed. Sensors swept the area for life signs and for danger. Every pulse, every shadow, every flicker was analyzed in real time. From orbit, the Deathworlders observed something chilling, movement beneath the surface. Shadows that didn't belong to the SOS sender, something large, fast, and intelligent. The planet had more secrets than the SOS had revealed. "Captain," Voss said, pointing at the readings, "whatever this is, it's not just a distress call. Something else is here, and it's waiting." Hale's eyes gleamed. "Then we'll make sure it remembers the humans who answered its call." The iron maw hovered over the crater, engines flaring softly. Drop pods were ready. Sensors locked on the faint life signs, weak, desperate, and alive. The Deathworlders were about to step into the unknown, into a world where danger lurked in every shadow, and the first move would decide who survived. The galaxy watched silently. The SOS had been answered, and the Deathworlders had arrived. The Deathworlders' drop pods pierced the planet's scarred atmosphere like falling meteors. Inside, soldiers of humanity braced themselves, each knowing that survival on extreme worlds had forged them into predators no alien could predict. Outside, the SOS signals pulsed faintly, guiding them to the source, but danger was everywhere. The first signs were subtle, shadows moving unnaturally, sensors flickering, and the faint hum of energy weapons hidden beneath the rubble. Captain Marcus Hale's voice cut through the pod's comms. Eyes open, reflexes sharp. "Remember, this planet was made to kill, and so were we." As the pods touched down near the largest crater, the SOS sender came into view. A fragile humanoid alien was huddled behind a broken wall of metal. Its skin shimmered with fear, and its eyes darted nervously to the horizon. The creature looked as though it had survived on sheer luck, its world ripped apart by unknown forces. But before the Deathworlders could reach it, the enemy revealed itself. From the shadows, a fleet of alien combat units struck, fast, aggressive, and far more coordinated than any patrol the humans had faced before. Plasma beams carved through the air, hitting the ground where the pods had landed moments before. Lieutenant Kara Voss shouted orders, her voice calm but sharp. "Spread out. Keep moving. Target weak points and disable their formations." The humans responded instantly. Soldiers emerged from the pods, weapons humming with energy. Unlike other species, they did not hesitate. Every movement was calculated, every shot precise. Even as the alien units advanced in overwhelming numbers, the Deathworlders adapted, predicting enemy behavior and turning the attack against them. Captain Hale sprinted toward the SOS sender, covering it with a suppressive energy pulse. Around him, humans moved like shadows, striking from unexpected angles, disappearing behind jagged metal, and reappearing to dismantle alien squads with ruthless efficiency. The alien attackers had underestimated the Deathworlders. They expected fear, hesitation, and confusion, but found none. Every human soldier operated as if the planet itself were an extension of their senses, exploiting every crevice, shadow, and structural weakness. Amid the chaos, the SOS sender began transmitting again. This time its message was clearer. "They come faster than thought. Protect the system." The message repeated in loops, almost as if the aliens' last hope was to guide the humans to the enemy's core positions. Hale nodded to Voss. "It's a guide. Follow it and we'll flush them out." The Deathworlders pushed forward. Alien units fell in waves, their advanced weapons failing against the humans' speed, coordination, and adaptability. Energy shields flared, plasma bolts hissed, and metal crumpled under concentrated strikes, but the Deathworlders pressed on relentlessly. Suddenly, a massive alien war machine emerged from a crater. Its armor glinted in the dim light, weapons rotating, energy beams charging. For a moment, the humans hesitated, not because they feared, but because they calculated. Hale assessed the battlefield, his mind racing through probabilities and strategies. "Flank it," he ordered. "Distract and disable. Leave no angle safe." Humans split into smaller teams, moving with unnatural speed, almost as if the planet itself guided them. They circled the war machine, targeting its exposed energy cores. Plasma beams met energy shields in blinding flashes, sparks flying across the battlefield. Yet the Deathworlders were relentless. Every shot, every maneuver, every calculation worked in perfect harmony. Finally, the war machine erupted in a massive explosion. Shockwaves threw humans off balance, but none were seriously injured. The alien units faltered, morale breaking as the impossible precision of the humans became evident. Hale approached the SOS sender, kneeling beside it. "You are safe now," he said quietly, his voice calm amid chaos. "But stay close. This planet isn't done with surprises." The alien's eyes widened, awe and fear mingling. It had called for help, but it had never imagined help like this. The Deathworlders were not just soldiers, they were predators, survivors, and hunters evolved to thrive where others perished. Across the battlefield, the remaining alien forces regrouped, sending distress signals of their own. They realized too late that they had underestimated humans. Entire formations were decimated, and their strategy collapsed under the relentless tide of Deathworlder efficiency. From orbit, the Iron Maw observed the planet below. Sensors confirmed minimal losses for the humans. Hale's smirk returned. "First strike successful," he said, voice steady. "But this is only the beginning. The SOS is just the start of what awaits." The galaxy had begun to notice. Alien fleets in nearby sectors intercepted fragments of communication, whispering fear into the hearts of those who listened. Humanity had arrived. Humanity had struck, and the Deathworlders were only getting started. As the SOS sender recovered, the Deathworlders prepared for the next phase. Unknown threats still lurked in the shadows of the ruined planet. More enemies would come. But the first strike had proven one undeniable truth. When humans responded, the impossible became reality, and no alien species would ever underestimate them again. The battlefield had fallen silent, but the tension was far from over. The Deathworlders stood among the twisted metal and smoking craters, their eyes scanning the ruins of the alien assault. The SOS sender, a fragile alien, shivered behind a protective barrier, whispering fragmented words in a language that the humans barely understood, but which their advanced translators rendered with clarity. They weren't attacking us," the alien stammered. They were running from something." Captain Marcus Hale's brow furrowed. "Running? Then why send a distress call that sounded like an attack?" He crouched near the alien, examining the broken cityscape. "Show me." The alien pointed to a massive crater at the planet's center. The Deathworlders approached cautiously, sensors scanning every inch. Faint energy signatures pulsed beneath the surface. Too precise to be natural, too organized to be random. Something, or someone, had been orchestrating this chaos before the Deathworlders had arrived. Lieutenant Kara Voss frowned at the readings. "Captain, these signatures, they're alive. Not creatures, not machines. Something hybrid, intelligent, adaptive, and dangerous." Hale's smirk vanished, replaced with focus. So the SOS was genuine, but incomplete. Whoever sent it couldn't tell the full truth. That means there's more waiting for us, and it's clever enough to hide. From orbit, the Iron Maw maintained its position, engines idling, sensors sweeping for incoming threats. The planet seemed calm, but the Deathworlders knew better. Silence was a predator's trick. The human soldiers spread out in formation, their boots crunching over alien rubble, energy rifles at the ready. Every shadow could conceal a lethal enemy. Suddenly the ground trembled. A section of the crater wall collapsed, revealing a massive subterranean structure, partially buried in rock and ash. The alien SOS sender gasped. It's the others. They built it to destroy." Hale's eyes narrowed. "Others? Explain." "They are Ancient, hidden, controlling everything above, the alien stammered. We tried to fight, to survive, but they are too powerful. Voss scanned the structure. Energy readings spiked unpredictably, fluctuating as though the structure itself were alive. Captain, this isn't just a base. It's a weapon, and it's already active. Hale's hand clenched. So the SOS was a lure, but not for us. It was a warning. Whoever survived here wanted someone strong enough to deal with this threat. Someone like us. As they advanced toward the entrance, automated defenses sprang to life. Turrets rose from the rubble, energy barriers ignited, and traps designed to kill intruders triggered with lethal precision. The Deathworlders responded instinctively, their training on extreme worlds making them almost untouchable. Plasma rifles discharged in controlled bursts, disabling mechanisms, while soldiers leapt over energy grids and ducked under collapsing structures. Yet even with their skill, the sheer scale of the defenses was unnerving. The SOS had been a call for help, yes, but it had also been a test. Whoever built this structure wanted to know if a force like the Deathworlders could even survive long enough to confront the real threat. Hale's voice was calm, commanding, cutting through the noise of collapsing metal. Remember, we adapt. We survive. Nothing here can stop humans if we move smart and fast. Watch your angles and watch each other. The SOS sender clung to Hale's side, trembling. They watch everything. Waiting. Voss's fingers danced over the sensors. Captain, the signatures below the structure. They're shifting. Not random. They're learning, adapting to our movement. Hale's smirk returned, sharper this time. Then we'll make them learn fast. Humans aren't easy prey. We don't just survive, we strike. And we strike smarter than anything that hunts us. The Deathworlders pressed forward, uncovering more of the structure. The deeper they went, the more apparent it became. The SOS was only the tip of the iceberg. Energy conduits pulsed like veins, massive machinery churned beneath the surface, and faint echoes of alien voices whispered warnings in the translator's speakers. And then a shadow moved, a living shape, faster than the eye could follow. Watching them from the darkness, the SOS sender gasped. They never sleep. They study. They decide who lives. Hale's gaze hardened. And then it's time someone studied them instead. The Deathworlders braced as the structure's defenses activated fully. Energy fields enveloping the corridors, mechanical arms swinging from the ceilings, and adaptive turrets locking onto their positions. But this was exactly why humans survived. Every attack, every trap, every shadow was met with instinct, strategy, and ruthless efficiency. As the SOS sender led them deeper into the labyrinth, the full horror became clear. The SOS had been only a fragment of the truth. Something ancient, intelligent, and dangerous controlled the planet from below. And the Deathworlders were the only force capable of confronting it. The galaxy might not yet understand what humans were, but here, on this ruined world, their true nature was about to be revealed. The SOS had drawn them in, but what awaited was far greater than any alien could imagine. Captain Hale looked at his team, eyes gleaming with anticipation. Prepare yourselves. This is no longer just a rescue mission. It's a hunt, and we never lose hunts. The deeper the Deathworlders ventured into the alien structure, the more they realized how carefully the SOS had been crafted. It had drawn them here, yes, but not just for rescue. It had been a test, a trap, and a challenge wrapped into one. Whatever entity had built this place knew survival was human instinct, and it was ready to exploit it. Captain Marcus Hale paused in a massive chamber, the walls lined with glowing conduits that pulsed like veins. Energy readings suggested immense power flowing beneath the surface. The SOS sender, trembling behind him, pointed weakly to a network of tunnels branching off into darkness. They watch everything, the alien whispered. They know who you are. What you will do? Hale's eyes narrowed. Good. Then we'll give them a show they won't forget. He turned to Lieutenant Kara Voss. This isn't just a fight. We can't storm through blindly. We need a plan, a gambit. Lure them, confuse them, and make them reveal themselves. Once they show their hand, we strike. Voss nodded, fingers dancing over the tactical display. I can manipulate the energy fields in the tunnels. We can create false readings, fake movement. The structures will respond, and we can hit them where they're vulnerable. Exactly, Hale said. Humans thrive where others panic. This is their mistake. The Deathworlders moved into position. Soldiers split into smaller teams, each taking a corridor or access point. Sensors flickered with false signals, decoys moving through tunnels, energy pulses tricking the adaptive defenses. The entity controlling the structure reacted instantly, but its responses were predictable to the humans' enhanced instincts. Captain, Voss reported, they've deployed automated patrols. Fast lethal, but they're chasing shadows. They don't know which signal is real, Hale smirked. Let them chase. We've been hunted our whole lives. Now it's our turn to hunt back. The first wave of the structure's defenses surged forward. Mechanical arms swung, energy turrets flared, and automated drones darted from the shadows. But the Deathworlders were ready. Humans leapt over energy grids, struck weak points, and disabled patrols before they could regroup. Every team moved like extensions of one mind, instinct and strategy fused perfectly. This SOS sender watched in awe. They think faster, move faster, survive faster than anything. Hale paused, observing the structure's reactions. Yes, that's what makes humans different. They adapt, they survive, and when the odds are stacked against them, they don't run, they strike. As the teams pushed deeper, the entity controlling the structure began to take more drastic measures. Floors shifted, corridors contracted, and energy fields pulsed violently, attempting to corral the humans into kill zones. But the Deathworlders were already anticipating these moves, using the environment against itself. Sensors overloaded sections of the defenses. Drones were turned into weapons against their own patrols. And the humans struck with ruthless efficiency. Captain, we've drawn them into the main chamber, Voss reported. They're consolidating. Their energy spikes, unstable. They're making mistakes. Hale's grin widened. Perfect. Now the gambit works. We hit hard and fast. No hesitation. The Deathworlders surged into the chamber, weapons blazing. The entity revealed itself at last, a massive, semi-organic machine fused with energy conduits, pulsing like a heart. Its eyes glowed as it scanned, calculated, and reacted. But the humans were already inside its perimeter. Soldiers darted between cover points, striking at exposed conduits and disabling key energy nodes. Plasma bolts flared, energy shields pulsed, and the ground shook from concentrated attacks. Every maneuver forced the entity to overreact, opening new weaknesses. Hale stepped forward, leading a small team toward the central core. This ends now, he said. Show us what you're made of, or fall. The SOS sender gasped. They can't survive. Here. Hale turned, voice steady and cold. We don't just survive. We dominate. With a coordinated strike, the Deathworlders overloaded the entity's energy core. Massive arcs of electricity shot across the chamber, machinery groaning and tearing under pressure. The entity attempted a final defense, but humans had already anticipated it. In seconds, the central core exploded, sending shockwaves through the tunnels, disabling remaining defenses and clearing the way for the SOS sender. Hale looked around at his team, then at the trembling alien. You're safe. But remember this, the galaxy is bigger and darker than you imagined. And humans, we answer calls like yours. But we never forget what we find. The structure's ruins smoked and sparked. The SOS sender, overwhelmed with relief and awe, whispered, You saved us and destroyed them. Hale nodded. We did more than that. We sent a message. And the galaxy will know humans are not to be trifled with. From orbit, the Iron Maw watched, engines ready, as the Deathworlders prepared to extract from the planet. The gambit had worked perfectly. The SOS had been a trap, yes, but it had also been a stage for humanity's unmatched survival and combat instincts. The galaxy was taking note. Wherever alien civilizations listened, whispers of the humans' unmatched efficiency and ruthlessness spread. The Deathworlders had struck first, but they had also demonstrated that survival, cunning, and adaptability made them the apex force of the galaxy. And this was only the beginning. The ruins of the SOS planet lay behind the Deathworlders like a scar across the galaxy. Smoke still rose from the shattered structure, and faint sparks crackled in the silent corridors. Yet for Captain Marcus Hale, the battle was only a prelude. The galaxy was larger, more dangerous, and now more aware of humanity's power than ever. From orbit, sensors picked up signals, long-range transmissions from nearby systems. Some were cautious, wary, almost pleading. Others were hostile, aggressive, trying to ascertain the humans' intentions. The SOS had not only drawn the Deathworlders here, it had revealed their presence to the wider galaxy. Lieutenant Kara Voss scanned the communications feed. "Captain, we're receiving multiple transmissions. Some alien species are requesting alliance. Others, they're preparing attacks. They've all heard what we did here." Hale's eyes narrowed. "That's good. Let them come. Let them choose. Humans are predators, but we can also be allies. Or we can be the storm that destroys those foolish enough to challenge us." On the planet's surface, scouts had encountered surviving members of the SOS species. They were weak, terrified, yet intelligent enough to understand the humans' role in their survival. Hale allowed a brief counsel. "Tell them this," he said. "We saved you, but this galaxy is full of threats. You either stand with us or you do not. Your choice may decide survival." The alien survivors exchanged frightened glances. One stepped forward, his voice trembling. We will follow your lead, if you command." Hale nodded. "Good, then help us prepare. There will be others, and they will not wait for mercy." Meanwhile, farther across the system, sensors detected fleets moving. Unknown species, alerted by the SOS and the Deathworlders' first strike, were deploying ships. Some came cautiously, scanning for weaknesses. Others approached with clear hostility, weapons charged. Voss's hands danced over the console. "Captain, multiple signatures. Some are trying to communicate. Some are ignoring all hails. They might attack us on sight." Hale's smirk returned. "Then we'll show them why humans survive where others fall. Prepare defenses, but don't fire unless I give the order. Let them make the first mistake." The Deathworlders set up a temporary orbital base, using the ruins of the alien structure to shield their position. Sensors hummed, defensive turrets powered up, and energy shields flared into life. Yet every move they made was calculated to be both visible and deceptive. They wanted the galaxy to see humans, but they also wanted the galaxy to fear them. Scouts returned with intelligence. Some alien species were willing to negotiate alliances, offering resources, intelligence, and guidance in exchange for protection. Others, however, were plotting betrayals, pretending to cooperate while secretly sending messages to hostile fleets. Hale studied the reports. In this galaxy, trust is earned through power. Humans don't beg. Humans don't negotiate unless it benefits us. We take alliances if they serve our purpose, and we crush enemies who try to deceive us. Voss pointed to one set of transmissions. "Captain, these aliens, they've already sent fleets to intercept others who might resist. If we act carefully, we could turn them against each other before they even know we exist." Hale's grin widened. "Exactly. Strategy, intelligence, patience. The Deathworlders don't just fight. We dominate by thinking ahead. Let them underestimate us, and they'll pay the price." The SOS sender, still trembling from the previous battles, looked at Hale. "Your species. You do not fear death," Hale nodded. "Fear is for those who cannot survive. Humans thrive in it. We anticipate it, exploit it, and use it to our advantage. Every enemy, every ally, every shadow, it all becomes part of the hunt." As the Deathworlders prepared their next moves, signals flickered across the galaxy. Whispers spread quickly. Humans were not only efficient killers, they were unpredictable, adaptive, and unstoppable. Entire alien civilizations paused in fear, unsure if they should fight, flee, or seek alliance. The first tentative allies arrived. bringing knowledge of the region, hidden routes, and intelligence on hostile forces. Some remained distant, observing humans' behavior before committing. Others attempted to test them, sending small squads to probe defenses, but all failed, their mistakes met with swift, precise retribution. Voss glanced at Hale, concern tempered by pride. "Captain, they're watching our every move. The galaxy knows humans are here. They're learning, adapting." Hale's eyes gleamed. "Let them adapt. We've already mastered what survival means. We set the rules now. They either follow or they perish." From orbit, the Iron Maw hovered like a predator over the system. The SOS planet had revealed secrets, shown weaknesses in alien fleets, and provided the humans with both allies and enemies. The galaxy had shifted overnight, and in the silence between signals, one truth became clear. When humans strike, they do not merely survive, they redefine the battlefield. The Deathworlders were no longer just responders to an SOS. They were the apex force, shaping alliances, breaking enemies, and leaving the galaxy unsure of what human presence would mean next. Captain Hale's voice cut through the comms, calm and decisive. "Prepare for the next wave. Allies or enemies, it doesn't matter. We set the pace. We decide the fight. And the galaxy will remember who we are." The galaxy trembled. Word of the Deathworlders' arrival and their devastating actions had spread like wildfire. Every civilization, every fleet, every hidden power was now aware that humans had returned and that they were not to be underestimated. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the Iron Maw, his eyes scanning the starfield. Far ahead, a massive fleet emerged from hyperspace, ships of unknown design, dark and jagged, their weapons bristling, engines glowing ominously. This was the source of the planetary devastation, the shadowy power behind the SOS trap. Lieutenant Kara Voss clenched her fists, tension tight in her voice. "Captain, their numbers. It's overwhelming. Hundreds of ships, and they're advancing in formation. This isn't just a fleet, it's an entire armada." Hale's smirk appeared calm and terrifying.
"Perfect!
"Let them come. Let them see why humans survive, and why the Deathworlders never retreat." Across the planets and moons below, allied alien species scrambled for safety, sending transmissions pleading for protection. Others attempted to join forces with the Deathworlders, their ships weaving into human defensive formations. But Hale knew the battle would not be won by numbers alone. It would be strategy, instinct, and ruthless precision that decided survival. Sensors detected the first salvo. Energy beams flared across the void, cutting through empty space. Explosions lit the darkness as alien weapons slammed into allied and civilian vessels. The Deathworlders moved immediately, their ships weaving through firestorms with impossible precision. The Iron Maw led the charge, its shields flaring against massive energy blasts. "Focus on their command ships," Hale ordered. "Disrupt their formation. Force them to panic." Voss coordinated with every squadron. "Shields up. Target weak points. Keep moving. Do not allow them to predict us." As the Deathworlders' fleet engaged, chaos erupted. Alien warships fired relentlessly, but humans anticipated every move. Flanking maneuvers, rapid jumps, and unexpected counterattacks turned the enemy's own tactics against them. Explosions rocked the void, but the Deathworlders pressed forward, relentless and precise. On the bridge, Hale's gaze hardened. "They think they can intimidate us with numbers. They think they can overwhelm human instinct. They're wrong. Humanity thrives in chaos, and today, chaos is our weapon." Suddenly, a massive alien dreadnought emerged from the center of the armada. Its hull pulsed with energy, massive cannons charging. Voss's eyes widened. "Captain, that's their core ship. If it survives, this battle isn't over." Hale's voice was steady, cold. "Then it won't survive." The Deathworlders split into multiple strike teams, approaching the dreadnought from unexpected angles. Smaller ships created decoys, drawing enemy fire, while elite teams targeted the ship's energy conduits. Plasma beams tore through armor, and the dreadnought responded with fury. firing massive energy blasts that vaporized smaller vessels. Yet even as the alien ship unleashed its destructive power, the Deathworlders remained unyielding. They adapted instantly, evading attacks, predicting enemy maneuvers, and exploiting every structural weakness. Every strike, every movement, every decision was calculated to destroy the core without unnecessary loss. Below the surface, the SOS planet's hidden defenses activated in response to the ongoing battle. Energy pulses, hidden turrets, and ancient traps were triggered remotely, further weakening the alien fleet. The Deathworlders had anticipated this, turning the planet itself into an ally in the conflict. Finally, the dreadnought exposed its central core. Hale gave the order. All teams converge. In this, elite squads struck from multiple directions, breaching the hull, disabling defenses, and targeting the energy core. The dreadnought shuddered violently, energy surging out of control. Explosions tore through the vessel, sending shockwaves across the battlefield. The alien fleet faltered, morale breaking as their command center fell. In orbit, the Iron Maw fired a concentrated blast, finalizing the destruction. The dreadnought exploded in a brilliant supernova of light and energy, scattering debris and obliterating nearby enemy ships. Panic rippled through the remaining armada. They had underestimated the Deathworlders' precision, their strategy, and their unyielding will. Hale's eyes swept over the battlefield. This is what humans do. We survive, we adapt, we dominate. Let them remember this day. The allied alien species, witnessing the human victory, fell silent in awe. Some approached to offer allegiance, while others trembled, realizing the true scale of human power. The Deathworlders had not only defeated the enemy, they had reshaped the balance of power in the galaxy. The SOS sender, now safe, looked up at the Iron Maw hovering above. You destroyed them all, and saved the galaxy. Hale nodded, voice calm but commanding. We did more than save. We sent a message. Humanity has returned, and the galaxy will never be the same. From orbit, the Iron Maw slowly turned, sensors scanning the aftermath. Fires still burned on the planet, but the threat had been neutralized. The galaxy was quiet again, but the story of the Deathworlders' might would spread across stars, whispered in fear and awe. The battle was over, but the legend of humanity had only just begun. The battlefield was silent now, but the galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. The Deathworlders had emerged victorious, their unmatched precision and survival instincts proving stronger than any alien fleet or hidden trap. Yet Captain Marcus Hale knew this victory was more than just survival. It was a statement. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same. From the bridge of the Iron Maw, Hale gazed at the remnants of the alien armada. Ships drifted in lifeless orbits, shattered beyond repair. The SOS planet below was scarred, but the survivors were alive, protected by the humans who had defied impossible odds. Hale's voice, calm yet commanding, resonated across the comms. All teams, report status. Confirm positions and make ready to transmit the message. Lieutenant Kara Voss's fingers flew over the console. Captain, all squads are accounted for. Minimal casualties. The SOS species is safe, and our allies are preparing to leave the system. Energy readings show no remaining threats, Hale nodded. Good. Then it's time the galaxy hears what humanity has to say. The SOS sender, still trembling, stepped forward. What? What will you say? Hale's eyes gleamed with determination. We won't just speak. We'll make them remember. Every fleet, every council, every species that dares to underestimate humans will know who they face. From orbit, the Iron Maw's sensors transmitted a pulse across nearby systems, a clear signal that humans had arrived. The message was simple but unmistakable. Humanity protects its own. Humanity answers calls for help, and humanity is unstoppable. Across the galaxy, reaction was immediate. Some alien species hailed the humans in awe, pledging alliance and cooperation. Others trembled, realizing they had underestimated a force capable of responding to an SOS with total dominance. Stories of the Deathworlders' actions spread quickly, whispered in council chambers and war rooms alike. Yet Hale knew the message was more than just a display of power. It was a warning. The galaxy was vast, full of threats, but humans were no ordinary species. They were apex predators, survivors, and hunters of the impossible, and their presence would shape the balance of power for generations. Voss spoke quietly, almost to herself. "Captain, they'll remember this for centuries," Hale smiled. "They will, and not just the survivors. Every species that dares to ignore the SOS signals or underestimate humans. They'll see the consequences." That's the message. On the SOS planet, the survivors began to rebuild, guided by humans who had mastered survival on death worlds. Hale allowed them a moment of hope. "You are safe now," he said. "But remember this, help comes from where you least expect it, and from those you could never hope to surpass." As the Deathworlders prepared to leave the system, orbital sensors picked up scattered transmissions from distant fleets. Some were approaching cautiously, while others remained hidden, observing, calculating. The galaxy had learned a new truth. Humans did not conquer blindly, but they responded with unstoppable precision. Hale's voice echoed across the bridge. "Set course for deep space. Other SOS signals may be out there. Other threats may rise. And wherever they appear, humans will answer. That's what it means to survive. That's what it means to be Deathworlders." The Iron Maw slipped into hyperspace, leaving behind a galaxy that had seen for the first time in millennia the full might of humanity. Planets, fleets, and civilizations whispered the same thought. Humanity had returned, and the stars would never be safe or predictable again. Voss looked at Hale, admiration clear. "Captain, what now?" Hale's eyes scanned the endless expanse of stars, calm and unyielding. "Now, we wait for the next call, and when it comes, the galaxy will see the full extent of what humans can do." The SOS signal, once weak and desperate, had become humanity's statement to the universe, a message of survival, dominance, and warning. And as the Iron Maw vanished into the void, one thing was certain. No alien species would ever forget the day humans answered the call. The Deathworlders had arrived. The impossible had been achieved, and the galaxy would never be the same.